Welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, and this is Beth's Bookish Reviews, and I'm here today to bring you my DIY literature degree, semester 4. Now, I'm probably never going to get out of school here because there are always so many books I want to read. I'm still in Victorian literature. I love Victorian literature. So, I told ChatGPT what I wanted to read, and then I asked him to give me some essays, some poems, and some short stories to go along with those, and to pair them up. Actually, I asked him for some poems and short stories with the books that I wanted to read. And when I was going to read these books, and then I said, oh, and could you also put some essays with those? So, I'm going to start with my books that I'm currently reading. So, the first one I am currently reading is Barchester Towers by Anthony Trollope. And this is about, well, it's the second book following the Warden, and I haven't gotten very far into it. I'm supposed to be done with it by September. I don't think that's happening. But he paired with this an essay by Anthony Trollope called English Bishops Old and New. So I'm currently listening to it and trying to follow along when I can. And the poem that he paired with this is Robert Browning's The Bishop Orders His Tomb at St. Praxed's Church. And the short story is by Margaret Oliphant, and it's called The Rector. So I'm excited to get into all these. Now, I've just recently got all this together, like a couple days ago. I was sitting there fixing to go to sleep, and I said, oh, I want to do this. And so I started. So that was, I'm trying to get, I just added a book to this. And he wants me to read it before I read a book in September. I've already got 2 that I've already started. Okay, so that's this one. All right, so the next book I have, I'm over halfway finished with it. My marker is not in the right spot. But I'm over 60% through. So I'm about 70% through now. This is the buddy read that Chris and I are reading right now. It was supposed to be in September, but we already have a September read every year. But this is Villette by Charlotte Bronte. I wasn't enjoying it very much, but now I'm starting to enjoy it. And this is about Lucy Snow, and she's quite a character. But I just love these Wordsworth classics. And don't you just love a floppy book? But he paired Villette with George Eliot's essay, Silly Novels by Lady Novelists. And the poem that he paired it with was Christina Rossetti's Echo. And I do have some selected poems by Christina Rossetti. I'm not sure if the Echo was in here, or if Echo is in here. It's not the Echo, it's just called Echo. It is in here. So I better get on that. And then the short story is by Charlotte Bronte called Napoleon and the Spectre. So I have the essays for Barchester Towers, which is English Bishops Old and New, and Villette, which is George Eliot's Silly Novels and by Lady Novelists, right here in this little packet, so that I can go ahead and read them all printed out, ready to go, and an extra page so that I can write my thoughts down. And I'm gonna put Christina Rossetti over there with him. And I also added late The Italian by Anne Radcliffe. So I guess I need to start this. This is Oxford World's Classics. And he paired this with the essay On the Supernatural in Poetry by Anne Radcliffe, Crystal Bell by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and the short story The Adventure of the German Student by Washington Irving. I'm trying to get the essay to pull up, but I think I'm having trouble with my internet right now. It's kind of stormy. So those are supposed to be my August reads, but August is almost over and I only have a week left and I'm not going to get them all done. So, moving on to September. Now, I know I'm not going to get, I need to unplug this. I know I'm not going to get all 3 of these read, but the first 2 I will. So the first one is Jane Eyre. And it's obviously by Charlotte Bronte. I don't know why I looked at that. He paired Jane Eyre with Harriet Taylor Mills' Enfranchisement of Women. The poem No Thank You, John by Christina Rossetti, and Elizabeth Gaskell's The Old Nurse's Story. So I'm really excited about these. I'm excited about all of these, okay? I don't know how many times I'm going to say, I'm really excited about these. I'm really excited about these. I'm really excited about these. But you get the drift. Okay, then the next book that I'm going to read in September is Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell. The essay that he paired with this one is Josephine Butler's The Education and Employment of Women. Christina Rossetti's Cousin Kate is the poem, and the short story is The Withered Arm by Thomas Hardy. I haven't really read anything by Thomas Hardy, but I do have a book on here too by him. So I plan to start at some point in September. When you see my TBR, you'll see why. This next book, Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. He paired this with Dickens's essay, A Poor Man's Tale of a Patten. He also paired it with Elizabeth Barrett Browning's poem, The Cry of the Children. And I do have a, oops, I am so sorry. I did not mean to hit that stand. So sorry. Let's see. Let me see if I got that one in here. Because this is collected poems. So he paired it with The Cry of the Children. I'm just gonna, yes, it's in here. Isn't that beautiful? This is another Wordsworth Classics. So, and the short story is another Charles Dickens. It's The Signal Man. So I'm excited. There I go again. I am. I'm really excited about this semester. All right. The next book. Oh, and I also have these 3 essays. I'm sorry. The Enfranchisement of Women, The Education and Employment of Women, and A Poor Man's Tale of a Patten. Right here. Okay. So, for October, I have Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell, which he paired with John Ruskin's Of Queen's Gardens. That's my essay. Elizabeth Barrett Browning's poem, The Romance of Swan's Nest, and Elizabeth Gaskell's Cousin Phyllis. Also in October, I do not yet have this book, but I will be getting it before October. Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. He paired it with John Stuart Mill's selections concerning class, property, and social position. I'm guessing there's just several little selections. A poem by Alfred Tennyson, Lady Clara Vere de Vere. I probably said that totally wrong. And a short story by Elizabeth Gaskell called The Squire's Story. All right, and also that month of October, I will be reading with my friend Chris, and it's on my thing, Middlemarch by George Eliot. This one will definitely have to be read in October because this is our month for Middlemarch by George Eliot. Also, the essay is George Eliot's Natural History of German Life. The poem is by Matthew Arnold, Dover Beach, which I have read before, but I'm looking forward to reading it again. And then the short story is by George Eliot, and it's titled The Lifted Veil. In November, I will be reading The Woodlanders by Thomas Hardy. I will read an essay by Thomas Hardy called The Dorsetshire Laborer. I will read a poem by Thomas Hardy called The Darkland Thrush. And I will also read Hardy's short story titled The Three Strangers. I feel like I need another November read to put in there. So maybe another Dickens, or yeah, who knows? I may add some more to it, but I will keep you updated on how it's going. Also, I have a background read, and that is Alexander Dumas' The Count of Monte Cristo. So I don't have any companion pieces to go with this. This is just, I'm just reading this in the background, just a few pages a day. I am currently, I have no idea where. It opens to page 116. I do know I made it to page, at least a page 100. So I have some extra essays that I asked for ChatGPT to give me. I'm really interested in reading some more essays. So he gave me 3 by Charles Lamb. They are Dream Children, a Reverie, Ode China, and a Dissertation upon Roast Pig. A couple from Hazlitt, 3 from Hazlitt, on Going a Journey, on Familiar Style, and on Fear of Death, on the Fear of Death. There's one by Thomas De Quincey on the Knocking at the Gate in Macbeth. Thomas Carlyle's The Signs of the Times. That one is about industrialization, mechanization, and modern society. There's 3 by Ruskin of King's Treasuries of Queen's Gardens and the Nature of Gothic. There's 3 by George Eliot, Evangelical Teaching, Dr. Cumming, Worldliness and Otherworldliness, Woman in France, Madame de Sable. 2 by Matthew Arnold, The Function of Criticism at the Present Time, and The Study of Poetry. There's 3 by Robert Louis Stevenson: An Apology for Idlers, A Gossip on Romance, Books Which Have Influenced Me. 2 by Thomas Hardy: The Profitable Reading of Fiction. My boy wants to come in. He's whining at the door. Candor in English Literature. There's 2 by Oscar Wilde: The Decay of Lying, and The Critic as Artist. Chesterton, G.K. Chesterton. There's 2: A Defense of Penny Dreadfuls, and The Fallacy of Success. There's 2 by Virginia Woolf: How Should One Read a Book, and Modern Fiction. And then 2 by C.S. Lewis: On Stories and Learning in Wartime. So, I would like to read as many of them as I can get read. But, you know, I do have work. And I have all these books that I would like to read and that I have decided to read. But anyway, that is my literature degree that I have set with ChatGPT, and I am really looking forward to getting started. I have already started, and I'm looking forward to reading these essays and poems and short stories. And my husband let him in the room, so I will keep you updated. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and let me know which one of these books you've read and what you think about them. And if you want to see more from me, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.